Welcome back to another One Piece chapter review. Chapter 1071 surprised us and came out today. But we're excited to talk about it. Obviously, as you can see, if you're tuning in right now, Mehgan cannot be here today. She's dealing with something very important and, something tough. She's having to take her childhood dog to the vet. He hasn't been doing too well. So she's with her family right now. So just our hearts go out to Mehgan and everybody in the chat. If she watches this back later, just, give her some hearts, give her some love, and let her know that everybody misses her for sure. But she will be back whenever the next chapter comes out. But it's a tough spot to be in, tough situation to have to deal with. So our hearts go out to Mehgan for sure. But me and Mehgan were honestly super, super, super shocked that a chapter came out today. I mean, I watched a little bit of Tekking's video to kind of see if he commented or would comment on it at all. And sure enough, he did. In the very beginning of the video, he mentioned that this happens all the time. We are not vets like the man himself. So being that this is the first year that we're doing like chapter to chapter, we're caught up. This threw us for a loop. We were like, damn, dude, we thought we had a break week. But, here we are. And what a chapter it was. Dude, it was a crazy, crazy, crazy chapter. So many things happened in this chapter. I wrote down some like bullet points of insane things that happened. Kuma crashing into the red line. Zoro versus Kaku. Garp at the very end. A lot of people saying Garp. This might be the end for Garp. That's what a lot of people are speculating. Kid arriving at Elbaf, and then this mystery person that Vegapunk decided to call. I want to talk about all of that and more with you guys. Let me just catch up with the chat real quick, see how you guys are all doing. I see a lot of hearts for Mehgan. Thank you. I'm sure when she watches this back, she will be very happy to see all the love. Let's get Tekking in here. That motherfucker isn't busy. Yeah, man. I mean, I don't even know where to start. I mean, this was a chapter that, we thought we were out at the end of the year. We thought this was the last one, and then we get this one dropped on us, and it's full of so many crazy things. I mean, first and foremost, the chapter opens up with Kuma. And this whole time, and I felt like it was all of us. This whole time, we all thought he was going to Egghead. Now, I think I had mentioned a couple times, like, there was a possibility that he wasn't. We assumed, given all the information, just like we assumed, based on the cover page for last week, that Stussy is the mystery person. Now, of course, I'm a little skeptical on whether it's exactly Stussy or not. It could be a couple of other people. But it seems like, based on what she was saying in the previous chapter, that that's definitely her. But I was assuming, once again, that all signs were pointing to Kuma going to Egghead. Where else would he be going? Now, like I mentioned, to find out what was going on with the chapter, I did tune into a Tekking video, and he mentioned in his chapter review that he thinks Kuma might have landed there by mistake, might have crashed into the red line, or is definitely a possibility, right? That he could have crashed into the red line by accident because he is damaged. And who knows, right? I mean, who knows? Apparently, there is no Kuma left in this machine. So who knows the logic? But I think that for whatever reason, whatever this Kuma bot, this machine is, I think that it was very purposeful, and that it was always planning to go towards the red line. I mean, to the red line, because of something that Vegapunk alludes to later on in the chapter when he's talking about Bonnie, and Bonnie is asking him if he can restore her father's consciousness. I don't know, might be a leap, but I am starting to believe that this mystery person might be the real Kuma. I know that sounds crazy, and there's so many people it could be. We didn't get any real clue. Even the transponder snail, we couldn't really get a good look at. And of course, there are already people speculating as to who it might be. And really, honestly, it could be anybody. But I don't know, man. I'm a real firm believer in Kuma's consciousness, like him and Vegapunk, like kind of cooking something up, getting up to something, and everything is not what it seems. And so I think that there might be the real Kuma's real consciousness hanging out somewhere on Egghead. But I don't know. I want to catch up with the chat a little bit and see what you guys are saying. See, a lot of people are saying, this is from, and I have my phone here too, Sander, I am so sorry, says, I hope Gin or Jin or Gin will come back. A lot of people are hoping that too, and of course, I mean, that would be awesome. I would love to see that as well, but I just don't know how likely that really, really, really is. But again, it's One Piece and anything can happen and has happened, so I don't know. We'll see. This is from Brandon King. Shout out, Brandon. I'm just going to give Brandon an explosion because Brandon fucking rules. The mystery man has to be Fujitora. Remember, Akainu banned him from all marine bases. This is a very good point. So Egghead might be his only safe haven. And if the light and gravity fruit are on the same science island, yeah, okay, Fujitora. Would Fujitora really be this person? That's a good question. Would he seemed to me, and correct me if I'm wrong, like he would have really no reason to. This is a pretty big betrayal against the government. And although Akainu yet did say that and did banish him from all of these marine bases, would it be enough for him to want to do something at this scale? A betrayal on this scale? I don't know. I mean, now that I'm starting to think about it, it would seem very likely because Fujitora and his morals have always been, he's made himself very clear as to who he is. So I don't know. I want to keep hearing guesses. I want to keep hearing who you guys think it is. Let's see. Has to be a strong fighter, and Fujitora is a strong fighter. If we're going with that logic, a secret satellite. I don't know. I don't think it would be a secret satellite, but that's an interesting guess. Van, shout out Van. We love Van. Just gonna give Van an explosion too. Also, Fuji was the one that hinted at Seraphims and SSG way back and pushed for the warlords to be dissolved. This is very true. This is also very, 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 very true. Yeah. I don't know. We're going to get there. We're going to, and I see Drake. I see Drake. I see a bunch of people saying that it could be someone from Sword. Maybe I just want it to be Kuma. Maybe that's why I'm so married to that, because in my heart, I just want that to be like, I want it to be Kuma's real consciousness somewhere, because, and I only say that, and I have the chapter pulled up too. I'm not going to show anything, but because he's talking to Bonnie. Bonnie is chasing after Vegapunk, asking him why he can't restore her father's consciousness. And he says, I can't, but there's a reason I can't. Now, could the reason again be, I like that the reason again could be because it wasn't ever really taken away from him. I don't know, man. I don't know. Oh, yeah. Funky D. I'm just happy to get 2 more panels of doll. Everybody's out here, dude. Doll panels are like, they're valuable currency right now. When Oda releases a couple of those, dude, you need to hold on to them. You need to start collecting them because they're rare right now. They're rare. They're hot right now. So you need to start stocking them up. Because we all could use a little more doll in our life. You know what I'm saying? What about Sabo? It very well could be Sabo. I'm also thinking of someone, okay, because someone had said earlier, it has to be someone who's very strong. But there has to be, like, in order for there to be so much mystery surrounding it, that's why I think some other characters that were mentioned before, while at the same time would be very cool, I don't know if it has to be someone who, when they return, has to be a moment, has to be big, has to be meaningful. I believe. So Sabo could definitely be someone who falls in that category. That would be really cool to see. I mean, we all know that he's probably fine and that he was hiding on Egghead, that would make sense, and that would be cool to see. That would be a satisfying reveal. But some of these other characters, like, I don't know if we haven't seen them in hundreds and hundreds of chapters, if they were like somewhat significant, but not like the craziest character out of all the characters in the world of One Piece. Like, you know, it might be revealed and then feel underwhelming. So I don't know. So possibly. And the more people are guessing, the more I'm going to say it. I'm probably wrong. I'm probably very wrong about it being Kuma or Kuma's consciousness. Vance said, I'm worried for Garp. This is from Victor. You think Blackbeard versus Garp could be the fight Oda was talking about at Jump Festa? I think it could be one of them. But I don't think it I mean, this is the end, dude. This is the final saga. Yeah, it's going to be crazy to get Garp versus Blackbeard. Excuse me, what the hell? Like, that's fucking something I never thought we would ever see. I mean, yeah, dude, that could definitely be one of them. But I also think, you know, me and Mehgan, last time we were talking about it when we did our chapter review from last week, you know, in some capacity, I think it could also be Luffy and Shanks. It could be so many. Obviously, we're going to get Zoro and Mihawk for sure. But it's definitely one of them. Is it going to happen? I mean, will they come across something along the way? I don't know. But bro, this is about to be crazy, dude. Crazy. Yeah. A Roger clone or Kuma clone? I don't know about a Roger clone, Samantha, but a Kuma clone, possibly. So this is from Ricard D.O. Original Kuma seems most likely to me having a brain fart on someone else. Has to be some relation to Egghead or Vegapunk. It could be also, check this out. This is just something that popped into my head right now. I'm sure other people have said this already before. I'm by no means the first person to say this, but it could also be this mystery person that we saw on the cover page that was related to in Mads. You know, everybody was saying Kuma's going to Egghead. Kuma's going to Egghead. Not where he ended up. We see a cover page of Mads, the original Mads group. Everybody's like, that's Stussy. I mean, people have other ideas of who it could be, but maybe that's who this person is. This person that's hiding out on Egghead is that mysterious person from the Mads cover page from, I think, last week. That would be interesting. Okay, I'm going through. We're going to kind of come back to all of this stuff too, because again, dude, so many things happened. We got, and Kizaru was at the end of last week's chapter. We didn't even get, I mean, so much shit is happening. That's what I'm saying. Like, Egghead, yeah, it does kind of, it's mirroring Sabaody, and it feels like it's coming to an end. But there's still so much shit that has to happen before it's going to end. Let me think. Okay, I'm going to get stuck on it if I don't move on for a second, but we are going to come back to it. I'm just popping back and forth from the chat. So, I mean, Zoro and Kaku was cool, right? Like, I almost put Zoro in the thumbnail, but I was like, better not, you know, because this chapter came out super early, and it was a cool moment for me. Like, when I got to read that moment, just seeing Zoro unsheath his sword was such a hype moment for me, because he's been gone for a long time, man. And I assume Brook is there too. I mean, we didn't get to see Brook. They do Brook Oda does Brook so dirty sometimes. Like, where is this man? Yeah, I mean, I'm sure people want to see, a lot of people probably want to see Zoro more than they want to see Brook, but I want to see both, okay? And so the fact that we didn't get anything, we didn't get to see this man sipping tea or nothing, I don't know, was kind of a bummer. But we did get to see Zoro. And when that man, that little panel, dude, that little tiny panel of him unsheathing his sword, bro, I got aroused, dude. I got so excited. And it was a mirror of, I think I saw this in the comments of the TCB, where you read the manga in the comments below. Someone said, like, it did very much mirror that same scene from Water 7 when Kaku came to check on the ship, and Zoro was asleep. So that was really cool too. A lot of things. This has been a consistent since we've gotten into the new world for sure, but another case where just things are being mirrored, and so many things have been mirrored and will continue to be. But that's what's kind of cool about it, because with enough time, as much time that has passed, and as much as these characters have grown, it just really puts their growth into context. It gives it more context and more weight, I feel like. Money D. Luffy. Shout out Money. Oh, I got one for him right here. Monkey to Luffy. LOL, Josh, we didn't see Zoro for years in Whole Cake. You've only waited a few weeks, dude. I know. Spoiled. That's what it's like being a weekly reader in Egghead, dude. It's a lot different. I can imagine. And I know that reunion was probably insane when you were in Whole Cake reading week to week, but I can't imagine, dude. I can't imagine. And I know Oda's talking about there's going to be years. Oda's saying, we don't have to worry about this shit being over for a long time. So there's bound to be a point where a character, a Straw Hat, goes away on a side quest for a while, and we don't get to see him. And I'll get to feel that pain. And I'm not ready, but I'm willing. Yusuf said, I'm so sad. I'm going to miss the last One Piece stream of the year. Going to a wedding right now, but can't wait to watch this later. Crazy ass chapter as usual. Imagine it's Yusuf's wedding, and he's like, about to walk down the aisle, and he's sending that chat. He's like, damn, I'm at my fucking wedding right now. Shit. But I don't know whose wedding it is. But congratulations to them. And you'll have fun, dude. You'll get wasted. You'll dance. It's going to be fun, dude. And this will be here. This will be here after the wedding when you're all hungover in bed tomorrow. Maybe you woke up with a couple of bridesmaids, you know what I'm saying? Or groomsmen. Whatever. I for real thought Zoro and Luffy still had to fight, and Sanji was going to be the reason for it. From Ricardo. I want to see how Kaku fares against Zoro, dude. I don't think that that's going to be much of a fight either. I mean, we're talking about all CP0 not really standing much of a chance. Luffy was awakened. I feel like there's no way that Kaku is awakened giraffe, dude. No way. I mean, I don't think. But I just feel like, bro, Zoro is so untouchable. I feel like when it comes to Kaku, like Kaku is dead. Kaku is done. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. That was really cool to see, though. It was cool to see Zoro again, and it was cool to see him square up against Kaku. Kid arriving at Elbaf. This was pretty big. I think that there were some One Piece YouTubers who put out videos all the way back towards the end of, I think it was the end of Wano, or it might have been the end of Wano. I think it was, or the first chapter after that, where everybody kind of split up. The Heart Pirates, Kid and the Straw Hats all kind of split up. And a lot of people said that this seemed to be where Kid was heading, and now I have confirmation that he is there. He is there. Also, of course, going back to like everything we now know based on that like Vegapunk flashback, that a lot of information from Ohara is on Elbaf. The Giants showed up. They took it all there. So Kid is going to be there. How are they going to welcome Kid? And is Kid going to gain access to all of this information? Who knows? Kaku is roasted giraffe. Yeah, he is, dude. He is. Yeah, the theory was that Kid went to Elbaf. And again, it's so crazy how all these people are deducing all of this based on old maps. And it's true. Like, it's panning out to be correct, which means that they, because I feel like Oda can only have so much control over every single little detail, and sometimes these things might get outsourced. But there's consistency with the maps. So that's kind of crazy. And people got that right. This is from Brandon King again. What if Kuma went to the Red Line to attack the Celestial Dragons? If he knew Kizaru and CP0 were on Egghead, he maybe is attacking them to force their retreat to defend the CDs, the Celestial Dragons, I assume. This is interesting. I mean, because, yes, the big question is, why did Kuma go there? Possibly. I mean, again, I think the bigger question is, like, how much of Kuma's consciousness, like, if any at all, because they keep saying that there's none, that this is a man, this is someone who is no longer a man. He has no humanity left in him. So I think it's like, it depends on like what is going on in this robot cyborg's head. How much Kuma's in there? How much programming is still in there? What did the revolutionaries really do? How much were they able to like bring him back or whatever? Because we don't even really know. We've seen a reaction from him, and we assumed that because of everything that was happening to his daughter and the reveal that Bonnie was his daughter, that he was reaching out, and not even that, but because Vegapunk was on Egghead, maybe Vegapunk was in danger and he was going to protect Vegapunk. But I mean, let's just kind of talk about that for a second. Like, people watching in the chat right now, how much of is there any shred of humanity that everybody else keeps saying that there's none, but have we seen any real evidence? And what are everybody's thoughts on, like, how much of Kuma is still left in there, if any? And what is the primary directive, I guess, of this cyborg? Because I don't know. I have no idea. Going there to fight, or going to go against the Celestial Dragons, I mean, getting revenge for those fucking, I mean, devils, really, riding him around. I mean, that'd just be cool to see, even if it didn't really, even if there was didn't really do anything to help anybody else. If it just helped him and he just went there to fuck them up, like, that'd be kind of sick. But even sadder, like, again, like, what if Oda is really playing with our hearts, dude? What if he's really, really just driving that, stake deeper into our chest, where he does show up, he goes back to the Red Line, to the Celestial Dragons, to be their, whatever again, to be their pet again. What if everybody's freaking out and we think the revolutionaries were doing as much as they could do to help him? We're thinking he's going to Egghead to help Vegapunk or Bonnie, and he really does go there and he's like, sorry, I'm back. I had really no say in that. Like, I'm back now. And he just gets on all four. Imagine the Celestial Dragons come out, dude. And everybody thinks, like, oh, damn, Kuma's about to get his revenge. And then he gets on all fours and then lets them ride him around again. That would be crazy. Brandon King said, he has no humanity, but remember, Lilith said human nature cannot be completely erased. Exactly. He's probably acting on some base instinct to protect his kid. So we're saying then that somehow landing there is will help Bonnie. Okay, we're gonna come back. We're gonna come back to it. Kuma bows and then kaboom. That shit would be crazy too, dude. That shit would be crazy. Garp. Let's talk about Garp for a second, and then I want to talk more about the mystery person, which we've already kind of speculated about. But I also want to go through the chapter and make sure I'm not really forgetting any smaller moments. But Garp. Ride him around. This is from Dracul Armand. Ride him around? Pause. They were riding him around. That's what they were doing. They were riding him around. They were parading this man around. Yeah. So Garp versus Blackbeard. Yo, this is crazy and really working. Just doing whatever the hell he wants to. I mean, that's what we love about Garp. He's not getting any approval to do that. I mean, he's just doing it. And I hope that we get to see this fight. I hope that we get to see this actually pan out and that they don't come across anything or anyone along the way. Because this is a matchup that I thought, I would never see. And I still want, I know that everybody is kind of separated and everybody is kind of all over the place. But I still would want, out of everybody, because this theory has come up many times before, not that Garp needs this necessarily, but a lot of people are saying R.I.P. Garp. But I would love for there to be a way for Bonnie to come into close proximity and return Garp to his, like, prime, dude. That would be sick. More than anybody else, that would be sick. But if Garp just goes, it might be the end. But that's what people were saying about Law. Look what happened to Law. Law held it down. He said, you got a bunch of anchors on your fucking crew. Okay, BB? If Aokiji fights Garp, I'll be so sad. Yeah, dude, that would break my heart. Gabe Ruiz plot twist, Oda not killing Shanks, the mentor, but Luffy's grandpa instead. That would be so sad to imagine Luffy losing Garp and Ace. he has no real relationship with Dragon. So whether Dragon lives or dies, I don't think would really affect Luffy all that much. Sabo, Ace, and Garp, obviously. So I don't think Oda's that heartless. I don't think Oda's that hard. I mean, he's telling one of the greatest stories ever told. And sometimes he might need to do something to service that story. But can you imagine Luffy losing? I mean, the people he cares about the most. Bro, I don't know how he would bounce back from that. I really don't. Blackbeard, this is from Cameron K. Blackbeard is strong against devil fruit users, but Garp doesn't have a devil fruit. Blackbeard might get wrecked by Garp when you really think about it. I don't think that Garp is going to die. But I do think that, of course, Garp's going to give Blackbeard a run for his money, but Blackbeard, he's over here combining shit. I mean, he's got shit up his sleeve that we don't even fucking fully know about. Not to mention his entire crew. I don't know. Yeah, and this is from Dawn. I mean, it's the final saga. No one should be safe. Yeah, you're right. Diego's Banana, shout out. If Blackbeard kills Garp, he would go down in history as possibly the most fearsome pirate of all time, possibly more than, and I always say his name wrong, but Zebek. Maybe I didn't say it wrong. And that's the thing, yeah, Garp was there during the Rock's pirate days, handling business, but he was a lot younger. He was a lot younger back then. Rob refuses to acknowledge Luffy as a Yonko. This is from Mr. Disaster. Damien Rohano. I think that was crazy to me because it kind of feeds into there being maybe some sort of consequence for Lucci. Lucci is kind of going against the government, and this is what Stussy even reiterates to him, saying that you're being stubborn, you're not going to listen to the Navy. And he said, I just refuse to acknowledge the Straw Hat Luffy as a Yonko. There's going to be a consequence for Lucci. I mean, Lucci this is how I think he gets taken out of the picture. I mean, Kizaru's going to show up. The government's not going to be happy. Why else include that line? And this is something that a lot of people have been speculating, like maybe the government is going to turn on Lucci and he's going to have to kind of ally himself with the Straw Hats to get off of the island. But maybe there's no making it off, dude. Maybe and this is another thing too. Them 7 satellites ain't getting off that island. That's another thing too. I just remembered happened in this freaking chapter right now. They're not getting off this island. They're not. 7? Hell no. They're not getting. I don't know how many of them are gonna get got, but there's no way. I don't even know if the main body is gonna get off. But if the main body does, it's just going to be the main body. All these other satellites are going to have to sacrifice themselves or something. There's just no way. Don, I invested too much in Stussy stocks for her to not be a menace. Gabe says, I think Vegapunk is getting away, but I do think Vegapunk is getting away, but it will be a satellite that survives. How crazy is this, dude? I want it to be, if one of them survives, of course you got Lilith, and everybody loves Lilith, but I invested so much time into looking at panels of Shaka to make the Shaka helmet. How sick would it be if Shaka was the one? Shaka was the one that starts, riding around with the Straw Hats, because they and we've talked about it many times before, and I don't want to sound like a broken record, but also in terms of the story, they cannot all be there because it's too convenient. It's too convenient in terms of telling a story for the protagonist, the Straw Hats, to have access to all of this information. Sure, Vegapunk doesn't know everything, but he knows a lot, and his satellites know a lot, and they have access to a lot of information. And I just feel like that is too convenient, and so there's no way that all of them are making it. And I would even say there's a pretty big chance that even one of them is it. But I love the idea, and I think it was Gabe. I love the idea that one of them is getting off, but it ain't the main body. If one Vegapunk makes it, in the chat, which Vegapunk would you want to be on the ship with the Straw Hats? If it's not excluding the main body of all the satellites, if one of them makes it, which one would you want it to be? My vote is Shaka. I'm biased. Okay, I'm biased. Brandon King, what if Quasar isn't Vegapunk's? And I knew Lilith. Yeah, Lilith. Yeah. Has to be Lilith. She's the most pirate-like, yeah. I see a couple Shakas in here. Okay. York for Sanji gags. Sorry, Brandon said, what if Quasar isn't Vegapunk's suffix, but his ally, and he's been calling him for help all arc? Would be a top-tier Oda gag. Yeah, I mean, also, what are the chances that we don't even know who this fucking person is? That'd be kind of crazy. I do think the likelihood of that is pretty low, but that could happen where we just don't. It's like we've never met this person before. You know, it's a muskrat. It's a muskrat from space. Because again, and I see a little mix. I thought it was going to be Lilith spam, but I see some Shakas. I do see a Pythagoras. Lilith is the most chaotic. Lilith and Shaka's head. Sick. Maybe Shaka's gonna die, right? Shaka's dead. He took a Lucci got him. Awakened. Lucci just took him out, and he takes his helmet off, and there's like a Vader scene, and we get to see underneath Shaka's helmet, and he gives Lilith his helmet, and then Lilith kind of has the shock. I mean, that's best of both worlds. Then we could all be happy. Let's see. Maybe his ally is the man with the burn scar. Now, I know when we were talking, Michael, about the burn, he is calling Enel from the moon. Imagine he had a moon phone, because that's interesting too, right? That I do also believe that the same person that Vegapunk contacted is the same person that took down that barrier, allowing CP0 to get in. Why they would do that? Maybe so that we don't know where they're at. Maybe they snuck in too, and then they patched everything up, but it wasn't in time. But that would be funny, dude, if he had like a direct line to the moon, an enhanced smoker, perhaps. That would be someone said, I love the idea of a moon phone. LOL. That would be so funny. I'm thinking Vegapunk called Dragon, but Mike Smith, it does feel like, and correct me if I'm wrong, but it does feel like that person is kind of there, hiding out on that island. I could be wrong. I mean, it could be someone completely in a different area, but it seems like that person. And I'm going to look at the chapter because I think there might have even been a line implying that person was kind of there. Damn, my mouse is like frozen over the. Okay, good. Whew. It was frozen because it's like Bluetooth, connected Bluetooth. It was frozen right over the end stream button, and I have to click it to activate it again. So I was like really afraid, but I figured it out. It was a close one. All right, let me go because I think there was a line. Let me see what everybody else is saying. Foxy. He's calling Foxy. He's got the Foxy phone. Yeah, I don't think Dragon is chilling there. Okay, let me just go through because now that I'm thinking about it, now that we're talking more about it, there's so much shit that I am remembering as we're going. But I mean, I was just kind of stuck on the highlight moments that I had written down beforehand. But yeah, okay. So a hero's offensive, Kuma coming through like freaking Superman, dude. This panel was honestly funny as hell. This was funny as hell, dude. Seeing him flying through the air like Superman. I didn't know I needed this. And the way he's doing it too, he's like, I love it. I love it. He's even got kind of the chin, for him. Maybe he's got like he's got maybe a Black Adam sort of build, you know what I'm saying? Flying through the air. Kuma landing, everybody freaking out, him kind of getting up. And he does look so fucked up. He was fucked up before he left, but somebody coming over the intercom telling everybody to be careful. He is dangerous. Evacuate immediately. All this stuff. It was cool seeing this panel of the Vegapunks all with their bags on, or the main body having his bag and like, all right, we're ready to go. That was pretty sick. Oh, damn. First donation of the stream.
Good smell.
Every sound for LJ916. Thank you for the donation. Thank you so much. If this arc is like Sabaody and we got Ray Lee in that arc, I think the ally, let me make sure I'm reading that right, or ally, is Scopper Gaban. Hair matches the Den. He was the one who turned off the barrier to get inside right after they asked for help. CP0 called it luck. Why am I not remembering this person's name? Or a face to this person's name? Let me see. Scopper, probably saying that name wrong. One Piece. Oh, that would be crazy. A member of course, Roger's crew. Kind of a handsome man, you know? Kind of casual. This man's got shades on, a little sash wrapped around him. He's got a taste for fashion. And being on Roger's crew, the man can fuck some shit up. Okay. Thank you, LJ916. Not just for the dono, but for an interesting theory. Interesting. Let me hop back over here. We really only saw him in the Odin flashback. Okay, cool. Sometimes I am genuinely, if I'm being honest, I do get nervous to say, like, I don't remember that character because and then everybody's like, how do you not remember this character? They were here and there and here and there. So sometimes I feel bad because there's a lot of characters, and I'm bad with names as it is. So yeah. Let me just crack open this cold one. I'm on a Coke Zero kick right now. Excuse me. And let me go back to the chapter. So I'm just going through to make sure that I'm not missing anything. So seeing all of them together here, I want to go more so. And I love this gag with Vegapunk throughout the chapter as well, where he is he's done this multiple times and it's part of his character. And it's so funny. It makes me laugh every single time. It happened with Sentomaru, and now it's happening again where he he's like, who says it? They say, hold your horses. Won't you be risking them too if we ask for help? They'd have nowhere else left to hide in the government sites. And then Vegapunk's like, he's like, that may be. And then he's already on the phone like, hello, I'm in a big pinch. Dude, it's just so funny. I feel like this will play great in the anime in 10 years, whenever the hell we get this animated. And even the transponder snail, the Den, it's so hard to tell. I don't think you can get, unless I'm tripping, I don't think you can really get any good clue from this panel. Now that I'm really looking at it, maybe when the higher quality scans come out or the official chapter comes out, maybe we'll be able to glean something, but I don't know, dude. I don't know how you can get any sort of idea about anything from this, because it doesn't even look like there is something coming off of it like scruff or hair, but it also just, I don't know. It also looks like it could just be shading. I don't know. So, and then Vegapunk freaks out. Looks like they're going to help us. Shaka looking cool as fucking hell, dude. Shaka looking so fucking cool. And then him showing up with the Straw Hats. Bonnie and Vegapunk fighting. Okay, yeah, this is where we find out after, well, actually first, Lucci is questioning like whether the defenses being lowered might be a trap, because it does seem a little convenient, but of course, knowing what we know, it was probably the person that Vegapunk contacted. I guess that would be the only person who I would think would be able to do that. But I want to find that line where Stussy kind of tells him like, you're not gonna Like, you're not going to listen. You're not going to wait for the Navy. You're not going to just do whatever you're told. Like, you're going to go after the Straw Hats. Well, anyway, then we get, dude, again, just the Zoro, seeing Zoro, and I feel bad too after Money was talking about it. Because it's true. In Whole Cake, everybody else who was week to week had to wait for so long. But I got so excited when I saw this series of panels. And it wasn't even that long. It was only a couple of weeks. So we're going to get to see that soon. Of course, now CP0 is very close by. And, okay, so this is Bonnie and Vegapunk. Yes or no? Can you turn my dad back to normal? No, sorry, I just can't. But there's a reason for that. I think, again, the reason for that could very well possibly be that it was because his consciousness was never fully or entirely put into. Now, I do know that there are things that were mentioned before that we talked about in this stream, but about there just being these bloodline elements, I guess, or these instincts. But maybe it's also because his real, true consciousness was never fully put inside of or taken away from him, or put inside of this machine or taken away from him. Then we see Kid and Killer chilling and the crew arriving at Elbaf. And then Doll. It's so funny because this panel of Doll does look a lot like the first panel of Doll we got. So someone was like, yeah, we got more Doll panels. I was like, yeah, but they kind of do look. This one looks so similar to the first Doll panel we got. But even if it's slightly different, dude, it's another Doll panel, and that's all that matters. And I'm sorry. I'm sorry for even saying that they look similar. Garp and Helmeppo, and they're on their way. Yeah, okay, cool. I just wanted to go through and make sure I didn't miss anything because it was a lot. It was a lot. All right, so now I'm going to be all about the chat. Beat him up, Bonnie. Honestly, this is from Don. Honestly, it would have been funny if Zoro just sidelined like in Drum Island. Or Drum Kingdom, in the Drum Kingdom, yeah. People are making fun of Dawn. Leave Dawn alone, okay? Leave Dawn alone. I hope Vegapunk tells Bonnie about Kuma next chapter. If Kuma is the person, it would work well in tandem. Yeah, absolutely. I think that if that is the case, then it would make sense. And I don't know, because again, we're not veterans when it comes to reading chapters week to week in terms of One Piece and Shonen Jump and how they release things. So I was under the impression that, again, we were going to be on a break and next week we were going to get this chapter. So I think that by the time we get another chapter, it'll be, correct me if I'm wrong too, it'll be like 2 weeks. Like we probably won't be getting a chapter for 2 weeks. Maybe longer. I don't know. Let's see. LJ916, Blackbeard encountered the Seraphim and Amazon Lily. Plus he took Kobe with him. Could be he got his hands on Kobe's authority chip if he had to control the two Seraphims. Bro, LJ. See, we didn't even, you have another comment here. If the authority chip is encased in something similar to Law's power, then with Blackbeard possibly defeating Law, he might then force Law to open it, giving him control over at least two of the Seraphims. Yo, LJ, this makes perfect sense. We didn't even know about the authority chips until semi-recently in I think it was a couple chapters ago. But now this makes so much sense that Kobe probably having, what would be the level of Kobe's authority chip? I mean, it would be better than Blackbeard's for sure. It would be anything. But that is great. That is great. That works, I think, on so many levels. Because he would need it from Kobe. He would, use Law to get it. But did him and Law was like a chance encounter, I believe. But definitely the authority chip now makes so much sense. I'm on your side, LJ. I think that's what it is. Gabe said, next official English chapter not out until January 6th, which will be this one. Damn, that's so crazy that this one came out so early. This is from Trill Trill Bill 300. I mean, I think that Blackbeard's whole intent by taking Kobe was to bait Garp into coming to him on Blackbeard's own turf. Blackbeard can gain a lot of knowledge from the man that beat his idol. But, I mean, two birds with one stone. Because I do think that he could have also taken Kobe as bait, but I do think that there might be something to the authority chip too, seeing as how once Blackbeard came across these things, he would want control over them in some way. Not necessarily, I mean, but would he even know about the chips though? Now that I'm thinking about it, let's deconstruct it. I get excited, and I want things to be what I want them to be what they are in my head. But let me think about it. I guess he would maybe not know about them. But I do think that there is a likelihood that he is going to bait. Even if he's not trying to bait Garp, which he probably is. I mean, do we know that Blackbeard is aware of Kobe's connection to Luffy? I mean, he could just be taking Kobe because of his connection to so many people and to bait whoever comes, because that's kind of like what he did with Law. He was just, I'm almost positive that when he was out and about, he just happened to come across Law. Like, it wasn't like he just knew he was going to come across one of them, Law, Kid, or Luffy, and it just so happened to be that. So are we giving him too much credit? Are we giving the man too much credit? Blackbeard did see Kobe commanding them, I think. LJ 916, S-Snake does have the same power Boa does, which is what Blackbeard was after, right? And we did see Money command the Seraphim to stop attacking, which Blackbeard saw him do. Command the Seraphim to stop attacking, which Blackbeard saw him do. And then we got another one from Dawn. If Law is truly a part of Sword, we could see him team up with Garp, Kobe, and possibly Kuzan pretty soon. Yo, that would be insane. The team-ups would be insane. Somebody said, do I know Randy Troy's theory? I don't know it entirely, but first, what theory in particular? And then if I don't know it, because I have heard, I don't know if I heard it from Randy Troy, I might have heard it from, or been put on to it by Par. I remember Par mentioning something about it, maybe. But what theory first? And if I don't, then I'll check it out. And Diego's Bananas, hey Josh, are y'all going to do a top 30 list for One Piece? It's a thing that One Piece YouTubers do, mainly power scalers at the end of each year. Very fun, in my opinion. So, well, since we're kind of nearing the end, I will say this, that this is for Diego's Bananas and everybody else who is curious. We have reached out to a One Piece YouTuber for a collab that we haven't had a collab with yet. It was pretty much confirmed. I'm not going to say who, just in case things happen, but it was pretty much confirmed, and we locked in a date, which is going to be in the beginning of January. We locked in a date, and we sent them an idea, and the idea is similar to this. It is similar to a top 30 list for One Piece, but we wanted it to be a little different, and we wanted it to be like our top moments from One Piece in general in 2022, like from the manga, from the chapters, from the stories, but just like we wanted it to be a pretty, decent list for each of us, and we wanted it to encompass all of One Piece. So in 2022, what was the hypest moment for One Piece for you personally? It doesn't have to be something directly from the story, of course, moments from the story, but also, like, for me, one of them was like the card game coming out this year. That was huge. Things like that, just so we can, I don't know, maybe have, you never want to bring on somebody who talks about this on their channel and then just have them maybe repeat things that they've already said in a video or something. So just to kind of shake it up, I guess. So yeah, I don't want to say who it's with, but we've already agreed, like, we're going to do a collab. We set a date. We just didn't exactly have the video exactly fleshed out, but they agreed to the date. They said, yes, we're going to do it, or we'll do it. And then we sent them the email with the video idea last night. So hopefully in the beginning of the year, we will see. And it's a One Piece YouTuber that we have not collabed with on our channel yet. So we're very excited for that. Is Volume 1 joining the YouTube Reverie next year? If they invite us, Gabe. If they invite us. I mean, that'd be sick. I mean, I think we'd both love it, but we'll see. It's, I don't want to be one of those people that's like, bring me on. Bring us on the Reverie. If we get invited, that's cool. And we'll definitely do it. Anyway, this is about the point in every One Piece chapter discussion where my head starts spinning, because the last real thought, I was on, and it's so funny when we do it live. I mean, getting to talk to you guys, like everything, all the possibilities, and everybody has so many great potential like possibilities for what could be happening and what people's like main goal or reason for doing something, or who this mystery person is, or it starts to make my head spin, but in a good way. I'm sober. I don't get to drink anymore because I have a problem, but this is the closest thing to being drunk I got. My head spinning from all this theorizing, but Blackbeard and Garp, we're going to see. What was Kobe kidnapped just to bring Garp out? It would make sense. Does he want Kobe also for his control chip because he wants Boa's power that the Seraphim does have? Another great possibility. One Piece is the greatest story ever told. It just is. All right. I'm going to read a couple more comments from the chat and then probably call it so we can get it around a nice, even hour. Let's see. This is from Caden. Oh, shout out Caden. Usually top 30 strongest, and the streams get super, super toxic and go on like 10 hours. They're always a great time. Oh, shit. Sybil with a dono. Let's give Sybil
It's your kitchen. Good smell.
Let's give Sybil so many sounds. As a fellow Coke Zero enjoyer, gotta say, you got
good smell, flavor,
good taste. Coke Zero. Coke Zero's fucking lit, dude. It's like way better than Diet Coke. Diet Coke's ass. From D, that's a good thing with the One Piece community. It's already like tradition to share your theories and watch the Reverie streams. Someone said, damn, an hour's passed already. Also, I want to say before we go, as soon as I get done with this stream, finishing a con video that me and Mehgan have been working really hard on, and it'd be awesome. It's going to come out tomorrow. It'd be really awesome if you guys clicked on it and watched it when it comes out. A lot of One Piece in there. A lot of One Piece cosplayers, and we asked them a lot of One Piece questions. It was so funny. When we went, we decided, okay, we're going to do a con video where we're going to ask cosplayers all these questions, like, maybe some smasher passes, maybe some, she's a 10, but, questions. We wanted to ask, me and Mehgan had showed up in One Piece cosplay, and we wanted to ask as many cosplayers as we could all these questions, but because we were dressed in One Piece cosplay, we naturally gravitated toward all other One Piece cosplayers. So we were like going back, looking at the footage, and we got some other people too. We got some JoJo, some Chainsaw Man, some, I forget all of the other ones that we got, but most of it is One Piece, and we didn't realize that till we got to editing everything. We were like, damn, we asked a lot of One Piece questions to a lot of One Piece cosplayers, but that is kind of sick. I mean, their cosplays were so good. We got a Kaido, we got a Big Mom, of course, we got some Laws, Ace. It's funny. We worked really hard on it. It's going to be a good video. So it's coming out tomorrow. So just if you see it, if it pops up in your feed, check it out. It's only going to be like 7 minutes long, tops. So yeah. Someone said, "Where's Mehgan?" It was mentioned earlier in the stream. I don't know if someone answered it for me, but yeah, Mehgan basically had to go to the vet because her family dog, her childhood dog, this dog is a pug, has been a part of her life forever since she was a kid. I mean, has outlived some of its own children. Really cute dog, but is old, getting old. Yeah, they had to go to the vet to do a wellness check, basically, to see if, because, sometimes it gets to a point where it's like, is it more humane to put your animal down than it is to, like, keep them alive when they're in such poor health? It's a really fucked up situation. I mean, even talking to Mehgan about it, Mehgan was like, yeah, this is kind of worse than him just just passing sort of on his own. Like, it's kind of worse. It kind of sucks more. And so she's with her family, and they're all over there with him. So again, like I said in the beginning, and he's also just like, he's a super cute dog, but he is bad. Like, he is really, really bad. But yeah, like I said in the beginning, like, our hearts go out to Mehgan. She'll be back. And she'll update, I'm sure, everybody. Once she knows. So yeah, hearts go out to her. And it's just tough. It's just tough. Anyway. Someone said, this is from Doran Ross, said no dogs are bad. Now that could be read as no dogs are bad, or no dogs are bad. Like, none. But we got a last-minute donation from LJ916. Let's freaking go. Don't get me wrong. I think Blackbeard took Kobe as bait. And because of what happened at the Rocky Port incident, I just think the chip is a plus he finds out about through Kobe that he could help later on. Yeah, I mean, this is where Blackbeard has everything he needs, Yes, because of Rocky Port, he's using Garp or Kobe as to bait Garp. And then finding out that he has a command chip that will give him access to controlling a Seraphim, of which that has the same devil fruit ability he was after. I mean, this is a win-win for him. Blackbeard's coming out on top. But again, I mean, he has to be. Blackbeard, yeah. He's going to be, already is, but towards the real end, like, and that's what we talked about too. And again, this is spiral central, spiral territory, but like how, like, Blackbeard is going to get very far. It's going to be like maybe Luffy and Shanks for the very, very end, but Blackbeard is going to gain more advantages. He is going to gain more power. He is going to become even more formidable, I think, as we go farther and farther and get closer and closer and closer towards the end. So, yeah, I don't know. What if we get Garp and Law versus Blackbeard? Please. Patek said BB is playing the game. He really is. LJ, do you think Garp is losing to Blackbeard, fighting to get Kobe? Oh, well, someone said too, I mean, do I think he's dying? No. Do I think he's losing? Yeah. Because what's the alternative? That he wins? That he beats Blackbeard? I mean, Blackbeard's has been built up for so long as like the opposite to Luffy. Garp is just going to show up and take him out? I don't think so. He's losing. He might not die, but he's losing. Terrence Matthews, let's freaking go. Vegapunk pretty much confirmed they're trying to create the ultimate life form. Maybe he's getting a call. Oh, shit. Maybe he called like, okay, he could have called it, and I think maybe, because someone said a mystery satellite earlier, right? But what if it's like like a Lunarian of some kind, or not King, obviously, but like, just, I guess where my mind is going, like, what if it's either a race of people that we haven't seen in the One Piece world in a long time, or if it's like another experiment, not necessarily a satellite, but like a Seraphim of another, it's a Seraphim Shanks. He's like, come help me. I don't know. Not, and that's me. That's not real. It's not going to be a Seraphim Shanks. But what if it's like, that's just a dramatic sort of thought. But I mean, like, it could be, I guess, maybe potentially another experiment. But I think it would be a person. I think it would be an actual character that we've met before, seen before. But Ramon says an ancient giant. Yeah. And we love Flame Wingman. Haven't even read the new chapter, but I gotta see the live. Maybe Garp goes Super Saiyan 4 because we all know One Piece is a prequel to Dragon Ball. All right. And yeah, I mean, a lot of people are really wanting. I hope we're building up to a One Piece version of Cell. A lot of people want that. I mean, we've seen it in our chat. Maybe it keeps coming from Terrence, but we've seen it in the chat before. And then last comment, just because I suck at goodbyes and I could sit here and talk to you guys for freaking 6 hours. But LJ916, I agree. Garp is losing. I agree. Garp losing gives Luffy more animosity towards Blackbeard to make the fight even more impactful when it finally happens. Yes, exactly. My thoughts exactly. Okay, guys, we have to end it there. I can sit here and talk to you guys for 7, 8, 9, 10 hours. And I promise I can read, too. It's just like the camera's blocking the chat on the screen over here, and I got my phone, and I got bad eyes, and so I promise I can read, okay? But that's going to do it for another One Piece chapter discussion. The only thing left to do now is to get out of here on our outro. It's always the same. It never changes, which when I'm alone, I rely on the chat a lot to help me with that. So anything that we talked about, anything from this chapter, anything that would make a cool outro, help me out. Because if I don't have Mehgan here, I'm lost. I'm lost. And while I let the chat sort of catch up, or the stream sort of catch up, I'm just going to say again, remember, if you see that cosplay video pop up in your, or con video, I should say, pop up in your feed tomorrow, just give it a quick watch, give it a quick like. And if you haven't liked this stream, give it a quick like too. If you haven't already, please. Okay, Garp is Spicy Kimchi. You want me to say Garp is finished? Until next year, Patek. I don't want to say Garp is finished. I mean, we can say it, but let's go beat those pirates. That's not bad. Okay. Happy New Year. Okay, we'll see you next year. That's a safe one. I mean, I just feel Spicy Kimchi. I like it. Garp is finished, but like I don't want to say that because like I don't want to will it into existence. You know, I don't want to like feel like I played a part in Garp being finished by saying it. Okay. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you for hanging out with me. Mehgan will be back next time we talk about the chapter whenever that new chapter comes out. And yeah. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Thank you for an amazing year. And until next time, I guess I set it up. I said, like, thank you for an amazing year. And then until next time, see you next year. It sounds kind of redundant, but let me make sure everything's queued up. Until next time, we'll see you next year.